What is going on, guys? It's Toby here, and today I'm with the NPC Gino. Yep, that would be the NPC activity right there. But today we're going to be installing a fuel system on Sally so that she can run on E85. We got to go to Autozone real quick and pick up some AN wrenches, but this is going to be a crazy install video, and it's going to take us like, I don't know, 8 hours?
Yeah, like 9 hours.
Maybe a day or two at most. So this is going to be an interesting install. So what else are we going to need at Autozone? Just the AN wrenches, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then that was actually kind of loud. What the heck? What did you just say, Gino?
We're gonna eat low beef.
Oh my god, bro. But we're hungry as so I think we're gonna get something to eat. I'm barely awake. I need a ghost to get up and do this install. This is gonna be a drag, guys. Like, I mean, Gino here just wouldn't shut up on the phone yesterday.
Nah, he was editing a video. What are you talking about?
Oh my god. I can't believe Gino just decided to show up at my house at 6 a.m., bro. And he woke me up and like completely came 2 hours early for no reason whatsoever, bro.
Bro.
Can you get me the... I don't know which one I'm gonna go with. Jesus Christ. I think just the rainbow unicorn. Need some juice for this install. Ew, bro's got the purple haze again. Nasty. So we're headed to AutoZone now. We're gonna get our AN wrenches. I kind of woke up from that bang. What about you, Gino? You feeling more awake now?
I've been awake, boy.
Yeah, well, I haven't. But that 535i, is that? Or is that a 335i? That's a 335i. That is super clean. It's got a Texas plate. You know he's fast. Oh, yeah. Gino whipping the Camaro? What? So what do you think of it so far? I'm gonna let into a poll real soon, but
20 times faster than my FRS at quarter throttle.
the FRZ, right?
Yeah.
We're pulling up at AutoZone now. All right, so this is Gino's first pull in the Camaro. Did you smack the red line? Dude, this car does not stop very well with these brakes at all. What happened? Did you miss in an automatic?
Bro, why?
It lags. It lags.
No, not even that. Like the red line is before the red mark on the.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did it red line at?
I don't know. It was like slightly before 6.5.
Like 6,400?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just bugging, but yeah, you're right. There is like.
Just got back to the apartment, but we ended up going to 2 different auto stores looking for those AN wrenches, and Harbor Freight told us that they had it, but when we got there, they were like, no, we don't have those. So kind of a flop. They wasted our time, and Mr. Gino got really upset with the person working there, but it is what it is, I guess. Bro, how many tools do you have in this car? Let's see.
This is just the trunk. Most of them are.
It's not even that bad.
Oh, rip. Look.
What? Caved it in?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Gino. So we're just gonna unload everything, get everything set up for the job, get the car on jack stands, and get going with this fuel system install. First step here with this fuel system install is to get the car off the ground, because we are going to have to access the fuel lines. The fuel lines run underneath the driver's side of the car, so that's why I'm jacking it up and everything. So I'm just gonna get this side up as well, and then we'll get cracking on taking apart like the covers for the fuel lines underneath the car. So fair warning here, we do have the car jacked up, we got the hood popped, I took everything out, and we got the back seats removed, but this install is gonna be a fat one. It's from Arcane Performance, this whole E85 fuel system. So you have your fuel lines, you have some wiring right there, you have a new fuel filter that replaces the OEM one. You have 2 new fuel pumps. I think these are good for like 900 wheel. And then you also have a new regulator. So I don't know where that is. Oh, it's actually in this box right here. But this install is about to be fat, boys. I've already shown this process in previous videos, but what I'm doing right here is relieving fuel pressure. So I'm gonna unplug the fuel pump and then run the car out of gas. This is your OEM fuel pump right there. So I'm gonna run the car out of gas right now. You unplug this first, then you crank up the car and just let it run out. It'll sound like it's cammed for a second. It'll be like brum, brum, brum. And that's just relieving fuel pressure. Just gonna remove the fuel hat, get out of there. I have a cut on my finger, so it stings like crazy. All right, you guys probably can't see crap, but this is the OEM fuel hat. Not trying to spill fuel everywhere.
That man Toby bleeding everywhere, Jesus.
Gino, you might have to grab this. It's full of 93.
93 in the wound. A little 93 in the wound.
Yeah, it stings really bad.
Keeps the doctor away.
We have to keep this back seat up because we don't want debris in the fuel tank. So since that OEM fuel hat is now out, we're gonna go ahead and assemble the new one with the new pumps. So I'm pretty sure these are like Hellcat pumps that come in the Hellcat, and there are 2 of them. This is a double pump system, but this is what the assembly looks like, and you have to slide them in. The next thing that we're removing here from the OEM fuel hat is the fuel level sensors. So this actually is a float, and it floats in there and it tells you how full your fuel is or your gas tank. So we're gonna remove this because you do have to reuse this. This is the only part of the OEM fuel hat that you're reusing. Right now we're setting up the OEM fuel level sensor to the new one. So we got to cut off that, which is pretty sketchy because I'm not good with electrical stuff and I don't trust that at all. So thank God we have Gino here, who is a certified electrician. And then those are male connectors, right?
Yeah.
That go into this part supplied by Arcane Performance. So that's how it's going to read the fuel levels now through here.
This is for the fuel sensor lines. You pretty much need to like change up the bit, like a little bit of the fabrication to install it onto the actual aftermarket fuel hat. So
fuel assembly.
Literally the entire thing, the only thing you have to do is you have to slide this clip on the back of it like this, and like based on like whatever like manufacturer you get it from, they should have instructions, but this is what it looks like just in case. And then you just cut the lines that have the OEM harness on there, and then you have to fabricate your own harness pretty much. All right, so ignore my craftsmanship, but pretty much you put the male connector on, you crimp it hard. I found that like, I have a tool. I found that like these were too big for this, so I had to use like some small pliers, and then you crimp it on like that, and then you should be able to slide it in like this. You should feel a click. I didn't really feel a click on the second one, but you can clearly tell that it's in there. So it should mate to the female connector part of this.
So yeah, now that's all set, you want to give it like a tug and see if that it's all good in there and that it won't pull out, because that'll be a major issue and you won't get like an accurate reading on your fuel level. So you'll be driving around and having no clue how much gas you have in the fuel tank. The way this fuel hat is assembled is for a one pump setup right now. So as you can see, you have this one connection right here. This is supplying fuel, right, to the pump, or power? No, fuel.
Fuel.
Yeah, so that's supplying fuel to that pump right there.
No, it's
sending.
The pump sends the fuel up to the fuel hat.
Okay, yeah.
And then it's gonna come out here and it's gonna send it through the line.
Okay, so we need to get this side done because it's only set up for one side, so we're taking it apart. The kit does come with another, what would you call that, Gino?
Yeah, like a fitting to
send the fuel.
So yeah, so you can attach the pump to here, and then this just attaches to the top hat.
Yeah, so basically those two go on like that, and then you connect the pumps like this from there, and that's what's going to shoot all that fuel up to the lines that is then going to carry that to the motor. We went ahead and disassembled the whole thing, but you don't have to. You can just twist it right here with an Allen key, right?
Yeah, I think it's a 4 mil.
Yeah, it'll just, oh wait, a 4 mil? So it'll take away like a bunch of time. And basically, yeah, now we have these two lines right here that go to the two fuel pumps, and we'll just put this all back together and get the fuel pumps on there. Last steps to getting this fuel assembly done. Tightening up this bolt, and then on the back for the fuel level sensor. This is what happens when you wake up too early. I think we might need to readjust this. Do you know where this goes? Or is this like the one that splices in the new setup that they put in there?
I think you just you screw it to something.
So currently we're trying to figure out like the whole new wiring for this new fuel system. It's kind of complex, but they do have a diagram which we'll show in just a second. So there's actually like a QR code that's included with a piece of paper, and it gives you instructions to everything, but here's the wiring diagram. It's kind of hard to understand, but we're slowly going and trying to figure it out.
We're installing the integrated fuel pressure regulator. So the first step to doing this is first removing this cover. You install the fuel pressure regulator specific fixture, and then once you install that and you tighten it decently enough, then you can proceed by inserting this piece. Make sure that the garment lays flush. Hold the middle down. It's like a ball bearing on that. Place the spring on, and then this piece goes upside down, like an upside down hat on there. And then finally place this on. We've
been going at this for a while now, and we're finally getting this built-in regulator all finished up, but we went and had lunch. We had to go to Advanced Auto Parts to get that, what is that, the Imperial wrench, because it does not fit anything else like Gino previously. Oh yeah, Imperial Allen key. Isn't it technically an Allen wrench? So right now we're sorting out the fuel level. I think it's the sensor, and I'm crimping this down with an eyelet. So that should be good. Yeah, that's perfect. And then this is gonna go right here on the fuel level power. It's actually denoted right here with like a power looking sign. So they go on right here. So we're actually trying to figure out where this goes. And Gino says it's red to red. I don't know if I believe that. Can you shine the light right there? Yeah, so I don't know if it's red to red, but I'm gonna take his word for it. What do you think?
Bro, like when you install like head units, you just do like the closest color if it doesn't match up exactly.
So update, you don't want to use those regular bolts because they'll actually conduct electricity. So you want to use this special type right here. And I way over tightened that one. Jesus Christ, bro. Once again, we're creating the ground wire, but we're using a flame
to mount the rubberized like insulator onto the actual wire.
Pretty cool stuff out here. You'd think it would be destructive, but you're actually venting any sort of spark that would cause a fire. So we're dropping in the fuel hat now, the new one, and gotta shimmy it around. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna be careful about bending this fuel level sensor, because if you do that, it won't read properly. So it's all about finessing this thing in real slowly. We got the new fuel hat in. I'm gonna try and get the retainer in, but I have no leverage. So you're gonna have to kick this, Gino.
Go.
There you go. That is not a good sound. That's how they lock in, dude. So right now I'm setting up the grounds from the aftermarket fuel hat because the instructions said to do so. What I'm using is the bolts basically from the OEM control module for the fuel hat, and then I'm just tightening down if this freaking bolt will catch. And then this side will go on the other side. Holy crap, I almost just dropped that ratchet. To conclude all this wiring and all that type of stuff, we're going through the right-hand side, the passenger side, through the firewall at the front, and then it's gonna go to like some of the battery terminals or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. We're gonna figure out as we go. This is like a huge learning experience, but right now we're removing the trim pieces within the inside and then just like squeezing that power line all the way to the front. I think that's good enough for a glute spread, bro. Bro. So we just finished up with the wiring for the most part, and now we just have to do this part, which I've already started up with like cutting it out, and then you use the same little thingy right here to tap into the battery power, and the fuel system should be all set and powered up. Right now we're working on assembling the feed and return lines. So on this Whipple, you actually have this right here, which basically you have to undo. It sits behind the Whipple rail, which is the dark rail right here. I gotta shine some light on it so you guys can see better. But basically, you detach that on the end right there. As you can see, it came right off. And then you start to assemble the feed line. You gotta make a second bang run. So we've had like, I don't know, 600 milligrams of caffeine. And we're now up, it's like 2 o'clock? No, what time is it? It's like 12 a.m., right? 12. I thought it was a lot later, but we're getting started with this regulator right here. We are mashing it up with the AN fittings, and then we're gonna connect that to the other line that we already have going down here. So we set this up previously. That's what we have right here. So we're gonna cut it and then put that regulator on there and then get the feed line attached to the Whipple rails. Are you cutting that, Gino?
Right here.
So how are you doing like the calculation of the extra fuel line that you're gonna need? You're just winging it?
Nah, I mean, I'm just like...
Are you basing it off of what that guy did on the forum?
Yeah, so like the reason he cut it here is because like there's like a bracket under there that's like easy to zip tie to, because like you don't want the line to be zip tied to a brake line. Like,
okay.
In case like something like tugs on it.
Interesting,
like,
very interesting. So it's the forum science kicking in.
Yeah, the bro tuner knowledge.
Just cut that up with like his garden hose. So he stole this from his mom. I mean, not a garden hose, freaking garden snippers or whatever, leaf cutters. And it frayed like crazy, but it shouldn't be a problem. I don't know about that, but we're gonna try and get the AN fitting on now. How's that one looking?
Almost perfect.
Almost still wrenching?
Honestly, let's see how it looks.
It should be good, I think. So that's the filter, right?
Yeah, wait, so can you, after this, like we just zip tie and we threw it, go to the engine bay and then we attach the regulator and then to the
Yeah, but
lines.
we have to split it, remember with that splitter thing?
So then this...
I should go assemble that while you do this.
Okay, so this zip tie through to the engine bay, regulator, then splitter, and then both fuel.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can see Gino is zip tying a bunch of the fuel line right there, and then we're gonna take that fuel filter and zip tie it somewhere up here, right? Like there's a bracket, the white bracket.
Yeah, you're gonna, well, yeah,
like right there?
It'll end up being zip tied here.
Oh yeah, that's sick. So these are your factory lines that are running right here. I think one of them is a brake line. I'm not entirely sure.
Nah, these two are brake line. This
Oh,
is
those
fuel.
two?
Yeah.
That's a fuel line?
Yeah, because you have two rear brakes and then the one fuel line.
Are you gonna do another one at the top? Like near the top? Here? Hold it? Or no?
I'm probably just gonna zip tie it like this.
Okay.
I mean, I could do it to the fuel line. No one cares about that.
Yeah, no one cares about the fuel line because we aren't using it anymore.
I'll do another one. Yeah, I'll do two.
Okay, bet. In order to avoid running that fuel line near the header, we're basically just going to remove this fender liner right here. Big shout out to Jegs for supplying this impact gun. So what Mr. Gino did here was run that fuel line from the bottom of the car right through there, so you can kind of see it. I don't know, like look at where the silver portion is. You can see the fuel line, like that black braided line, and then it comes up through the top right here, right next to the ABS. So this is the line right here, and now we're gonna use like the Y connection to split it between each Whipple rail. So one rail is right here, and then you go on the other side.
And then like, so when you're leading the lineup prior to crossing that like strut, I guess,
Yeah.
you should, I don't know, I mean, I recommend zip tying the line to
Oh, yeah.
the fuel line. So
Oh yeah, so like as a support to the OEM fuel line.
yeah, because there's nothing else really you could zip tie it to unless you drill holes, which you don't want to do.
Last Y connection before we get to the Whipple rails. So I'm gonna hold the wrench while Gino controls the ratchet. He's very good with his hands. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning and we're throwing in the towel, boys. We need those AN wrenches. So we ordered them off of Amazon, same day delivery. Essentially what happened was we hit off like that double split portion right there, and it just does not work without the AN wrench.
If I get it back on there, it's just not gonna, I won't be able to tighten it unless I have the AN wrench.
And then I started like falling asleep, so we're like, you know what, we just need to stop. I was like literally sleeping on the ground. So I mean, you're not productive at all when it's one person working and I'm passed out on the floor. It's the next day, well technically the same day. We took like a 2-hour nap and got some food, but we're getting the AN fittings on the 6 AN, right, which leaves from the Whipple. So we already got the whole feed line set up. That was a pain in the butt. We actually didn't have to use AN wrenches. We just had to remove the whole Whipple rail, which is held in by 2 bolts. So I'm trying to zoom in right now. It's kind of crazy and hectic with filming with only with one hand. But as you can see, we pulled this Whipple rail right there, and then we got this on the end of it. We got that all set up. We did the same on that side, and now we're setting up the return system. I don't know if we already mentioned this, but a good practice or method to ensure that you have good fittings or like good room, I don't even know how to explain it, like a good mating between the AN and the actual like hose is to ensure by looking down with a flashlight. So what we do is like look down right here. That's pretty good, but then when we put the other part in, it'll straighten it out, and then we'll look one more time.
So pretty much what determines like if there's gonna be a leak or not is like you have this male connector here that's gonna be inserted into this. This like flat portion was perfectly machined to mate with the rubber hose of the AN fitting. So if there's no contaminants or unwanted debris in between the actual rubber and like this machined flat part, then you're not gonna have a leak.
All right, boys. We had to hit the Whipple rails down with a mallet. That's the mistake that we made. And then from there, we did our AN fittings on the Whipple rails. We got that all set up. Oh, Gino, we forgot to do this one. But we won't worry about that right now. But from here, we already have our return lines ran. Thanks to Mr. Gino, he went underneath the car and set it all up. And then we have to do some testing to make sure that we don't have any bad AN fittings. Fingers crossed, I don't want to spend more time on this car. One thing you don't want to forget to do if you're doing this at home is to take out your stock feed line from the stock fuel pump. So basically, I think it's this line. Where is it? There's a green one. Basically, you want to remove this and put a cap in it right there, so you're set with the return style fuel system. If you don't put that cap in there, it's going to squirt gas all over your face and it's not going to be good. Like your whole inside of your cabin is going to be submerged in gasoline. So after 2 days of straight laboring, no sleep whatsoever, Gino had to go back home because he's going to work at 6 a.m. in the morning. I feel so bad for him and I'm eternally grateful for all his help. He really helped me out big time for 2 days straight. I went to go turn on Sally and she does not crank over. So it looks like I have an issue with getting power to the new fuel pumps. Something's not right with the whole hat setup, but I mean, I did get this regulator installed. That looks absolutely sick. I do also need to secure it properly because right now I'm using a zip tie. I mean, that's not uncommon or anything. Every race car has a zip tie. Obviously, I was just joking, but when you turn on the car or put on the accessory power, it actually reads dash for the mileage to empty. So it's not getting any voltage whatsoever to those fuel pumps. You should also hear them prime. So if you don't hear them prime, you know you have a problem. They usually make like a whirring noise. It's pretty distinct, but yeah, we obviously have a wiring issue and we need to get power to that aftermarket fuel hat that I just put in there. So something's wrong with the wiring. Didn't really do anything else tonight. I already missed 2 uploads for this week on YouTube, so that's completely slacking, but I mean, I have a good excuse. I was taking finals. I had to do my work videos. And I also had to do this. Like, this took up 2.5 days straight up, like non-stop working. I didn't even get to go to the gym. But if you guys enjoyed this video, I guess we got a somewhat successful fuel system install. I guess we only messed up on the wiring. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.